Hello and welcome to Dear Shamel, Ask the Auto Dealer Doctor, aka Auto Dealer Thanos, aka Jedi Master. These are some of the nicknames I have been dubbed from my clients. I get a lot of questions from people, and this video is how I'm going to answer the same questions over and over again. So I give my best advice about moving your dealership to 6 figures a month and to the freedom-based lifestyle that you desire. So first question is, I'm not yet an auto dealer. I'm still thinking about it. I'm scared, particularly about going through all the paperwork with the cash that involves and not being able to succeed. Specifically, not being able to pay the rent of the business office. So I just want to say that yes, being afraid is a wonderful thing. Let me tell you why. Because fear is there to protect you. It is there to prepare you or to motivate you to be prepared. So what you want to do is you want to take stock of what scares you. Okay, so rent scares you, or overhead, and not being able to bring in enough money, not being able to move cars. Write down what your fears are, because your fears are only here to protect you and to help you to move forward. So what I would say to you, anonymous person, is I would say that yes, be afraid, but have a plan to tackle your fears. The first thing is you need to know that you can make income while before you have your overhead. Okay, so the best way to do that is to start now, to start selling cars now. And you can do that with one of the programs at the Auto Dealer Business School called Dealer Apprentice. And then the second part of that question is I think not being prepared, or feeling like he wasn't prepared. So the answer to that question, or my best prescription from the Auto Dealer Doctor, is get prepared. So what does it take to get you prepared? You want to feel like you know how to sell, so then get you some training to help you with the sales process. And again, we have a complete auto dealer startup program that is the complete sales process, so you'll know exactly what it takes to move a car quickly. All right, so next question. Let me just read through that one to make sure I answered it. Paperwork and being able to succeed. Okay, yes. Okay, next question. My biggest challenge right now is gathering the money to get this started. How much to spend on first purchase and have enough money for auction fees, possible repairs to vehicle, etc. All right, so this is a question about budgeting. I like this person because yes, you need to budget. It is a great idea to understand how much this is going to cost you, because you do not want a cash poor business. My answer to that is that the best thing is to get started, okay? And there are ways to get started with low risk, and those are the ways that you want to explore. So that's number one, is just to get started. A lot of times you don't know what it will take until you know, okay? So a startup budget. Well, a good startup budget, it really depends on what kind of experience you want to have. I hesitate to give you a budget because I don't want to give you a number and then you say, okay, I cannot do this until I have this number, because that is not true. Okay, you can start on any number. The difference is, or on any budget, the difference is you'll have different experiences with each budget. So if you start with $20,000, then yes, your steps and your experiences and how things work for you are going to be different. You're going to have more money to absorb mistakes and to fall and still get back up. If you start with $5,000, you can still start, but you have less money to fall, to fall down. So you will want to make sure that you cushion your fall with something like a coach or a mentor to help you through the mistakes, okay? So that's the first part of that question. So my prescription would be to definitely, the smaller your budget, the more you need to have someone in your corner telling you what's around the corner, okay? So the second part to that question is how much to spend on your first purchase. and have enough money for auction fees, possible repairs to the vehicle, etc. So your first purchase should be something that can move quickly. In my opinion, that is a cash car. Cash cars are cars that sell for cash, and cash that people can typically get on hand like real quick, or that they have been saving up for or towards, and they have it to spend on this car. So long story short, cash cars are at $3,500 or less in most markets. Okay, in some markets you can get cash cars a little higher. In others it's lower. Okay, so just to give you a gauge, $3,500 or less in most markets. So why you want to buy this kind of car is because they move quickly. Cash cars, you don't have to provide anything to your customer for them to be able to complete the sale other than the car and then their paperwork. Okay, and what I mean by provide something, any other car you have to provide financing in some way. So you want to start with cash cars. They move quickly, you can have a lot of cash flow, and a cash car at the auction is going to cost you about 1/3 to half of what you retail is. Okay, so if that gives you an idea, of how much you spend on your first purchase, a $3,500 car is what for you at your auction. And then the auction fees, yeah, they are kind of a mystery. I have to say, when I first started in this business, I remember going to the auction for the first time, and I went up to the registration desk and I asked the woman behind the desk for the list of the auction fees, and she told me they had no such list. And I was thinking to myself, how do you have no such list? Like, you have all these cars coming in and out for sale. I know you know what you're charging. Long story short, or really the short of that is it's a secret. Like, it's like a mystery. But basically, for a cash car, depending on the auction, you can expect for the auction fees to be $200 or less. Okay, so that depends on the auction. That also depends on how much your car is, because it's usually a percentage of the purchase. Okay, and then possible repairs. Yeah, you need to make sure you know what that car is going to take if it needs anything. So you need to learn how to inspect cars. How do you learn how to inspect cars? Well, you get with the Auto Dealer Business School and you take the How to Inspect Cars class, and you learn how to inspect cars. I am not a mechanic, but I inspect each and every car I purchase. I pop the hood, or I have my mechanic inspect them. But my mechanic also knows my process. I have a step-by-step process that I use to qualify cars, and it is the same process that I give to you in this class. So hopefully that answers the question. Let's get to the last question. All right, so this one's kind of long and it has a lot of the same questions. So I'm going to pick out the part that's a little different. Okay, so do you generally buy cars as is? How quickly do these cars sell? And on that same note, does that ever lead to problems since you can't really arbitrate in this price range? All right, so the first part is, do you generally buy as is? Yes, I do generally buy as is. At the auctions, most of the vehicles there are as is. I'm not exactly sure what he means by as is. I'm gonna have to think about that, like what he really might have meant by as is. But how quickly do these cars sell? I sell my cars between 1 day and 2 weeks, on average a week. Okay, on average 5 to 7 days it takes to sell a vehicle, and that is because of a lot of things. Like, one, you make your money in the buy. Okay, so you have to inspect your car and you have to know what you're doing at the auction to purchase that car, and that's where you make your money on that buy. Okay, and then two, I have a step-by-step process to market, and I think it's my marketing process that gets me fast results, and I'm pretty sure that it's my marketing process because my clients also have fast results, and I have receipts. I get text messages like, man, I got that car sold in like 1 day, and it's all because of you. So I do believe in my step-by-step process, And that's how quickly these cars sell. And then it says, on that same note, does that ever lead to problems since you can't arbitrate in this price range? So, I mean, no, it doesn't really lead to problems for me because, like I said, I inspect my cars and I know 99% of the time what I'm getting. Now, let me be real, okay? Because there has been a car or two that has had an issue come up after I have purchased it and brought it back, okay? Though it's a used car, so things like that will happen. Like one time I had a Dodge Caravan that when I inspected it, I knew exactly what was going on with the car. Then I got it back and they had a little skip in the while it was idling. And so well, you know, I was thinking to myself, okay, it might be something really easy to fix. So I asked my mechanic at the time to check it out. I was thinking maybe it's the evap sensor or something like that. I think he changed a couple of parts. Ended up being the compressor was going out. You know, it wasn't going out when I inspected it. That's just the name of the game. Still ended up profiting on that car, okay? Which is the reason why is because of how I bought that car, or, you know, or my process in buying that car and paying what I paid for that car. So it still allowed me to profit, okay? So hopefully that answers these questions. This has been the first episode of Ask or Dear Shamel, Ask an Auto Dealer Doctor, or Ask the Auto Dealer Doctor. If you have any questions that you want to remain anonymous, then you can email me at hello@autodealerbschool.com. That's hello@autodealer, like business, school.com. If you don't care about being anonymous, then put your question in the comments and I will definitely get back to you. Also subscribe so you can get the notifications when these videos go up, and I will talk to you soon.